stop. Listen carefully. Every second you waste scrolling, your life is slipping away. You tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow, but tomorrow doesn't exist. You are already losing today. Your potential, your dreams, the life you could have, it's being stolen silently, and no one is coming to save you. Most people die with regret, never knowing what they were capable of. You are not most people. If you keep listening, this audiobook will pull you out of that trap, force you to face the brutal truth, and give you the roadmap to finally take control of your mind, your habits, and your future. But only if you act. Right now. Before it's too late. Chapter 1. The Silent Killer of Human. Listen closely. Most people think life is going to wait for them. They believe tomorrow will be easier, that next week will give them a chance to start fresh. But every second they waste, life is slipping quietly through their fingers. It's not the big disasters that ruin potential. It's the small, invisible choices, scrolling endlessly on a phone, checking meaningless notifications, convincing yourself that you deserve a break when you've done nothing. This is the silent killer of human potential, and it doesn't announce itself. It sneaks in quietly, steals your time, erodes your focus, and reshapes your mind to accept mediocrity. Most people don't even realize it's happening. I want you to realize it now. Right here, right this moment. Every habit you ignore, every goal you delay, every excuse you accept is building a life you didn't plan, a life you never wanted. And it's all your fault. The truth is brutal. No one will save you. No one will force you to wake up. The world doesn't care about your comfort, and your brain certainly won't help you. It's designed to seek pleasure, avoid pain, and repeat patterns that make survival easy. But surviving isn't enough. Not for you, not if you've listened to this audiobook. You are capable of far more than you imagine. But first, you must admit the truth. You've wasted time. You've ignored your potential. You've settled. Most people do, and they call it life. But this audiobook isn't for them. This audiobook is for the few who are ready to fight for themselves, who are ready to stop lying to themselves, who are ready to take control before it's too late. The first step is awareness. Watch how you spend your next hour. Be brutally honest. Notice the distractions. Notice the excuses. Notice the patterns that have kept you trapped. Write them down. Name them. They are the chains that have been holding you without your permission. This is not a suggestion. It is a warning. Your life is measured in moments, and every wasted moment is a debt you can never repay. The second step is action. You cannot wait for motivation, for inspiration, for some magical right moment. That moment is now, because every second you hesitate is another second stolen from the life you are meant to live. Start with something small. Confront the task you've been avoiding. Do the one thing you know you've been putting off, the one thing that scares you, the one thing that matters. Let it be your signal to yourself that you are no longer a prisoner of your own comfort. Discipline doesn't begin in grand gestures. It begins in the quiet, invisible decisions you make every day. One task completed, one habit built, one moment seized. That is how potential grows. And once you start, the momentum is unstoppable. Most people never reach this stage because they are blinded by comfort. They confuse ease with success and distraction with freedom. They allow the silent killer to thrive while pretending to chase their dreams. You will not be like them. You will confront your mind, challenge your habits, and take control of your time. Every choice you make from this moment forward can either build the life you want or continue the slow decay of potential. The choice is yours. But understand this, the world does not wait. Life will continue to move, whether you act or not. And once enough time has passed, regret becomes permanent. By the end of this audiobook, you will understand exactly what it takes to reclaim control, to build habits that stick, to destroy procrastination, and to live a life most people only dream of. But before we get there, you must take this first moment seriously. Realize the truth, confront the silent killer, and prepare to take your life back. This is the beginning, and from here, nothing will ever be the same. Chapter 2. The Comfort Trap. Comfort is the silent predator in your life. It doesn't scream. It doesn't threaten. It slips in quietly, like a shadow, and before you know it, your days, weeks, and years have been stolen without resistance. Every time you choose ease over effort, every time you swipe, scroll, binge, or postpone, your brain is being rewired to accept less than you deserve. The worst part? You think you're safe in your comfort. You think nothing is wrong. But comfort is a trap. It lulls you into believing that life is happening for you when in reality, life is happening to you and you're losing. Most people spend decades in this trap, never noticing it, never breaking free, until one day they wake up with a deep, burning regret. The friends they could have had, the health they could have maintained, the skills they could have built, the life they could have lived, all gone, simply because comfort was easier than growth. You cannot afford to be like them. Comfort is addictive because it's painless in the short term, but it destroys everything in the long term. The brain's natural instinct is to avoid pain and seek pleasure. That's why scrolling on social media, eating mindlessly, staying up late, and avoiding responsibility feels good in the moment. It's deceptive. Each choice reinforces a pattern of inaction, slowly eroding your potential. If you want extraordinary results, if you want to live a life most people will only dream about, you must step into discomfort. You must do the things that scare you, the things you resist, the things your lazy mind is desperately trying to avoid. True growth is impossible in ease. You can read every book, watch every video, and follow every guru, but until you challenge yourself in uncomfortable ways, nothing changes. Real change happens when you feel the resistance, when your body screams, when your mind begs you to stop, and you don't. Start today with small discomforts. Wake up earlier than you want to. Push your body physically. Say no to things that waste your time. Take on tasks that make you anxious. These moments are your training ground. Every small act of discomfort rewires your brain. Every single one makes you stronger, sharper, and more focused. Over time, what once felt impossible becomes normal. While others fall asleep at night scrolling endlessly, you will have built momentum, a foundation no one else can touch. And here's the brutal truth. The more comfortable your life seems, the more it's killing you. Comfort is a slow, invisible erosion of your potential, and most people never even notice it until it's too late. You cannot let that happen to you. You cannot. Choose discomfort. Choose effort. Choose the path that feels hard, because that is the path to a life of power, freedom, and fulfillment. Anything else is surrender. Chapter 3. The Psychology of Discipline. Discipline isn't punishment. Discipline isn't a set of rules someone else made for you. Discipline is freedom. It is the only way to escape the endless loop of wasted time, broken promises to yourself, and the quiet ache of knowing you could have done more. The truth is, most people misunderstand discipline. They think it means suffering for the sake of suffering, forcing themselves into routines they hate, denying every pleasure in life. That's false. Real discipline is the ability to control your mind, to decide what matters, and to act consistently even when your brain screams no. High achievers, the people you admire, the ones who seem unstoppable, they didn't get there because they are smarter or luckier. They got there because they mastered themselves. They chose to do the things that most people won't, day after day, long after motivation had faded. Your mind will resist. It will lie to you. It will say, "You're tired. You'll do it later. This isn't important." And every time you give in, the chains tighten. Every small surrender erodes your potential. That's why understanding your psychology is critical. Discipline is a skill, not a trait. It can be learned, strengthened, and perfected. It starts with awareness, knowing your triggers, knowing the moments when your mind will try to sabotage you, and designing your life to make resistance easier and temptation harder. You have to rewire your habits, your routines, your environment. Willpower alone is not enough. It's a limited resource. Systems are what make discipline unstoppable. Start small. Commit to one habit, one action, one decision every day that reinforces your control. Maybe it's waking up earlier than you want. Maybe it's completing a task you've avoided. Maybe it's refusing the easy choice and taking the hard one instead. Each victory compounds. Each act of self-control strengthens your mind, your resolve, and your confidence. Imagine your brain as a muscle. Each time you resist the temptation to give in to comfort, each time you choose action over ease, you are training it. The longer you do it, the stronger it becomes. Eventually, discipline doesn't feel like a struggle. It becomes automatic. The truth is harsh. You will not become extraordinary by waiting for motivation, inspiration, or perfect conditions. None of those things exist for most people. The only path to control, to freedom, to achievement is to train yourself relentlessly, intentionally, and without excuses. Your future self will either thank you or curse you. Every day you skip, every habit you ignore, every surrender to comfort is a debt that compounds. Discipline is the currency that buys your life back. If you master it, nothing can stop you. If you ignore it, life will slip away silently, and you'll wonder years from now why you never achieved what you were capable of. The choice is yours. You can surrender, or you can fight. And if you listen to this audiobook and act, you will fight, and you will win. Chapter 4. Destroying Procrastination. Procrastination isn't laziness. It's fear disguised as comfort. Every time you put off a task, every time you tell yourself, "I'll do it later," you are running from something deeper than work. You are running from discomfort, from failure, from the unknown. Most people think procrastination is harmless. They think, "I'll catch up tomorrow," or "I work better under pressure." The truth is brutal. Every delay is a thief stealing your life. It's robbing you of momentum, focus, and confidence. Every unfinished task is a weight on your mind that never goes away. And the longer you let it sit, the heavier it becomes. You feel it. That nagging sense of guilt, the restless anxiety, the quiet voice in your head whispering, "You should be doing something else right now." That voice is telling the truth. To destroy procrastination, you must understand it. Your brain doesn't want to fail. It doesn't want to feel pain. That's why it hides in distractions, excuses, and temporary pleasures. But you are stronger than your excuses, and you must fight them consciously. Start by breaking the invisible chains that hold you. Take the task you've been avoiding, the one that feels heavy in your chest, and commit to it right now, even for 5 minutes. Action beats thought every single time. Momentum is created by doing, not planning. The trick is simple. Start small. Start now. Do not wait for inspiration. Do not wait for motivation. Take immediate, deliberate action, even if it feels uncomfortable or inadequate. Once you start, the chain reaction begins. Completing one task fuels the next. Finishing one difficult thing gives you confidence to finish another. And soon, procrastination loses its grip because you have trained your mind to act despite fear, despite resistance, despite laziness. Use time blocking. Divide your day into focused segments and assign each task its slot. Remove distractions. Silence notifications, close unnecessary tabs, and create an environment that forces you to act. Use the Pomodoro technique, 25 minutes of focus, 5 minutes of reset. Repeat until momentum becomes unstoppable. Visualize the result. Imagine yourself tomorrow, next week, next year, having completed the tasks you dread today. Picture the pride, the relief, the growth. That vision is your fuel. Every procrastinated task you complete is a step toward that life. Every delay is a step away. The reality is harsh. Procrastination is comfortable in the moment, but toxic over time. It eats away at your potential until you realize that days, months, and years have passed without meaningful progress. You cannot let that happen. You cannot be passive while life moves forward. Confront your fear, face the discomfort, and act. Today, not tomorrow, not later, now. Procrastination only has power because you give it power. Take it away by doing, by acting, by moving relentlessly toward what matters. One decision to act breaks the habit. One day of relentless action rewires your brain. 1 week of consistent effort builds unstoppable momentum. And once you feel that momentum, once you know what it feels like to act despite fear, procrastination becomes powerless. You take control, and your life begins to accelerate in ways most people never experience. That is the power you are about to claim. Chapter 5. Reprogramming your mind. Your mind is not neutral. It is not a blank slate that passively observes the world. It is a machine, constantly running programs, forming patterns, creating habits, and shaping the life you live without asking for permission. Right now, it is running programs you inherited, absorbed, and allowed to continue unchecked. Most of those programs are holding you back. They tell you you're not good enough, that success is for others, that your efforts don't matter. They whisper excuses that sound reasonable but are designed to keep you small. If you do nothing, these programs will run your life silently until one day you wake up, decades gone, asking why you never became who you wanted to be. Reprogramming your mind isn't optional if you want to escape mediocrity. It is mandatory. And it doesn't require magic, meditation retreats, or fancy techniques. It requires intentional action, repeated consistently until the old patterns are overwritten. Start by observing your thoughts. Every day, for at least 10 minutes, listen to the dialogue in your head. Write it down. Notice the recurring phrases, the repeated doubts, the automatic excuses. This is your blueprint. Once you see it, you can confront it. Each negative thought is a signal, a chance to choose differently. Counter it immediately. If your brain says, "I can't do this," respond with action. Do it anyway. If it says, "I'll start tomorrow," respond with urgency. Start now. The mind cannot argue with action. Then, build new patterns. Feed it programs that support growth, discipline, and courage. Affirmations alone won't do it. They are weak without reinforcement. Combine action with intention. Repeat the habits, the choices, the behaviors you want to become automatic. Over time, your mind will internalize these patterns. What once felt difficult, unnatural, or uncomfortable will feel normal. Reprogramming is not about eliminating discomfort. It is about teaching your mind to navigate discomfort while staying focused on what matters. It is about rewiring your brain to prioritize long-term gain over short-term pleasure, growth over avoidance, courage over fear. Most people never attempt this because it requires honesty, consistency, and confrontation with their own weaknesses. But if you do it, the results are undeniable. You will notice a shift in how you think, how you act, and how the world responds to you. Opportunities will no longer feel accidental. They will be created by the disciplined, programmed mind you are building. Your life will accelerate because your inner machine now works for you, not against you. Every decision becomes aligned. Every habit compounds. Every action reinforces the reality you want to create. And the most important truth, reprogramming your mind is a lifelong process. It doesn't end. But once you start, you cannot go back. You will see the cracks in the patterns that once held you, the lies you told yourself, the excuses you accepted. And from that awareness, everything changes. You are no longer a passive observer of your life. You are the engineer. You are the programmer. And the life you want is no longer a dream. It becomes inevitable. Chapter 6. The Power of Daily Systems. Motivation is a lie. Inspiration is temporary. Excitement fades. If you want real results, real control, and real growth, you need systems, daily routines designed to make success inevitable. Most people rely on willpower. They wait for a spark, a feeling, a surge of energy. And most of the time, it never comes. They try to act, fail, feel guilty, and repeat the cycle. That's why they never achieve anything substantial. Systems are different. Systems remove reliance on fleeting emotions. They automate action. They create momentum even when you don't feel like it. Think about the people you admire. The successful, the disciplined, the unstoppable. None of them rely solely on motivation. They rely on structure, repetition, and habit. Your mind is lazy. Without a system, it will always choose the path of least resistance. But with a system, the path of least resistance becomes the path to growth. Design your day intentionally. Start with a morning routine that sets the tone. Wake up at the same time. Move your body. Focus your mind. Eat and hydrate with purpose. Every morning, habit compounds into discipline that lasts all day. Divide your day into focused segments. Assign each task a slot. Remove distractions. Make the environment force you to act. At night, review. Reflect on wins and failures. Adjust your system. The system is a living structure. It evolves with you. Don't rely on willpower. Don't wait for inspiration. Your system does the work. And here's the most important truth. When you stick to systems, you don't have to think about discipline every moment. The right behaviors become automatic. You don't fight your brain. You guide it. You train it. You program it. And over time, the compounding effect is unstoppable. 1 week of a strong system creates momentum. 1 month turns momentum into confidence. 1 year transforms your life. Most people never reach this point because they think discipline is about heroic acts. It's not. Discipline is a sequence of small, consistent actions designed into a system that works for you even when your mind resists. Your environment, your schedule, your habits, they are the engine of your life. Neglect them, and you fail. Master them, and success becomes inevitable. Chapter 7. Becoming mentally dangerous. Most people fear pain. Most people fear criticism. Most people fear failure, rejection, and discomfort. They walk through life carefully, avoiding risks, avoiding challenges, avoiding any situation where they might feel exposed or weak. That's why most people never accomplish anything significant. They are harmless, predictable, and invisible to the world. But you are not most people. You have listened this far, and if you act on what you've learned, you are about to enter a realm where few dare to tread. Becoming mentally dangerous does not mean harming others. It means cultivating a mind so disciplined, so relentless, and so focused that no external force can control you. It means training yourself to confront discomfort, to embrace challenges, and to take deliberate action when fear screams at you to stop. A mentally dangerous person does not react, they respond. They do not wait for permission, they take initiative. They do not procrastinate, they execute. And they do not allow the opinions of others, the fear of failure, or the lure of comfort to dictate their path. Every decision you make from this moment can move you closer to this state or pull you further away. You must train your mind to see obstacles as opportunities. Every challenge, every setback, every difficult conversation, every task that makes your chest tighten is an opportunity to grow stronger, sharper, and more resilient. Most people shrink from these moments. They turn away. They rationalize. They blame, but a mentally dangerous mind seeks them out. It recognizes that life's pressure is a forge. Under pressure, steel is hardened. Under challenge, the mind is sharpened. You must actively seek the moments that scare you, that intimidate you, that feel impossible. That is where growth happens. This is not theory, this is practice. Begin with small actions that make you uncomfortable. Speak your truth when it's easier to stay silent. Take on work that seems beyond your skill. Move your body beyond what feels easy. Force your mind to endure, to resist, to adapt. These small acts accumulate, and your resilience compounds. But mental danger is more than just enduring hardship. It is about controlling your internal state, mastering your emotions, and eliminating internal distractions. Fear, doubt, and anxiety are your enemies, not external circumstances. You must confront them directly. Whenever fear arises, examine it, understand it, name it, and then act despite it. The act itself weakens the fear over time. Eventually, fear no longer dictates behavior. It becomes a tool to measure courage. Criticism, too, is meaningless to the mentally dangerous. Most people live constrained by the opinions of others, trapped in a cycle of approval seeking. But if you allow others' judgments to control your decisions, you will never move forward. Mentally dangerous people acknowledge criticism, filter it for value, and discard the rest. They cultivate self-confidence rooted in action, not in external validation. And failure is no longer an enemy. It is a lesson. Every failed attempt, every mistake, every setback is data. Mentally dangerous minds analyze it, learn from it, and adapt immediately. They do not dwell. They do not wallow. They use failure as fuel for the next attempt, as a tool to grow stronger. Becoming mentally dangerous requires discipline, repetition, and intentional practice. You cannot take shortcuts. You cannot skip steps. It begins with controlling your habits, structuring your environment, mastering your emotions, and forcing your mind to act against resistance. It continues by seeking discomfort, embracing challenges, and pushing boundaries consistently. Every time you act when your mind screams, "Stop," every time you resist the easy choice, every time you face fear directly, you are building a fortress of mental strength around yourself. People who fail to develop this mindset remain weak, reactive, and controlled by circumstances. Those who cultivate it become unstoppable, untouchable, and capable of achieving what most would consider impossible. You are at the edge of this transformation. You have learned the power of awareness, discipline, systems, and action. Now, you must take the final step. Commit to becoming mentally dangerous. Choose deliberately to confront discomfort daily, to face fear head-on, to master your internal world, and to execute relentlessly. The first attempts will feel unnatural. You will resist. Your old habits will fight back. That is normal. Push anyway. Persist. And soon, what once felt impossible will become natural. You will move through life with a focused intensity that others cannot ignore. You will see opportunities where others see obstacles. You will take decisive action when others hesitate. And the life you build will be a direct result of your unshakable mind. Mentally dangerous does not mean perfect. It does not mean fearless. It means powerful. It means relentless. It means unstoppable. You are capable of this, but only if you act consistently and without compromise. Every day you delay is a day you forfeit potential. Every moment you surrender to comfort is a moment wasted. From now on, train your mind, embrace fear, and become the force that the world cannot ignore. Chapter 8. The life most people never reach. Most people never reach this point. Most people die quietly, trapped in routines, waiting for life to hand them something that never comes. They dream, they plan, they hope, but they never act with relentless consistency. They wait for perfect timing, perfect circumstances, perfect motivation. And then life happens while they are waiting, and they look back decades later, wondering what could have been. But you are not like them. You have listened. You have learned. You have faced the brutal truths about comfort, procrastination, discipline, and mental control. And now, the life you could have ignored is within reach, but only if you choose to claim it. The life most people never reach is not about luck, privilege, or some rare gift. It is about relentless action, uncompromising focus, and the courage to endure discomfort again and again, long after others have given up. Every successful person you admire, every story that inspires, every life that seems extraordinary, none of them was born fully prepared. They were built. They were forged by daily choices, by decisions to act when the mind screamed to quit, by the repetition of small victories over time. This is the blueprint. You must commit to it fully. The life most people never reach is a life of control. Control over time, control over habits, control over thoughts and emotions. It is not chaos. It is structure. It is systems. It is action without delay. Without control, life drifts, and drift is death. Most people think they are free, but they are trapped by habits, distractions, and the tyranny of their own untrained mind. Freedom is earned, not given. And it begins with discipline. The life most people never reach is also a life of growth. They stop learning. They settle. They choose comfort over challenge. But growth is not comfortable. Growth demands pain, failure, risk, and persistence. It requires the courage to face what most people avoid, the discomfort of change, the fear of inadequacy, the resistance that arises when you push beyond your limits. That is why few ever reach this life. But you can. You can start now, not tomorrow, not next week. Start by taking responsibility for every moment of your life. Stop blaming circumstances, other people, or luck. Take ownership. Every choice you make either builds the life you want or erodes it. Every habit you adopt either strengthens your potential or weakens it. Every action you take either moves you forward or keeps you stuck. The life most people never reach is also a life of impact. Ordinary people live for themselves, for convenience, for temporary pleasure. The extraordinary live for purpose, for growth, for leaving a mark. They create systems that benefit not just themselves, but those around them. They embrace challenges that others avoid. They cultivate strength that inspires. And they leave behind evidence that they existed, that they mattered, that they lived fully. To reach this life, you must combine everything you've learned: awareness of wasted potential, escape from comfort, mastery of discipline, destruction of procrastination, reprogramming of your mind, creation of systems, and cultivation of mental danger. One without the other is incomplete. Together, they form an unstoppable force capable of transforming your entire existence. The truth is simple. Most people will never do this. Most people will never face their fears, confront their weaknesses, or commit to relentless growth. Most will die quietly, wondering why life passed them by. But you will not. You now understand the path. You now know what it takes. You now have the blueprint to build a life few ever experience. But knowledge alone is meaningless. You must act. Take one habit today. Take one uncomfortable action today. Confront one fear today. Plan one system that structures your tomorrow. Then do it again tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after that. Momentum compounds. Action multiplies. Discipline becomes automatic. Your mind becomes unstoppable. Eventually, the life that once seemed distant, impossible, or out of reach becomes your reality. You will look back and realize that the choices you made, one by one, day by day, built the life most people never reach. That life is not a dream. It is a consequence of relentless effort, discipline, courage, and intentional action. And now, it is waiting for you, if you take it, if you fight for it, if you refuse to settle for anything less. The life most people never reach is yours to claim. The question is simple: will you, or will you remain one of the many who never tried? Chapter 9. The Relentless Pursuit of Excellence. Excellence is not something you stumble upon. It is not inherited, gifted, or discovered by chance. Excellence is earned, and it is earned through relentless pursuit, through a commitment to improve every single day, no matter how small the step, no matter how uncomfortable the effort, no matter how many times you fail. Most people claim they want excellence, but what they truly want is approval, comfort, and the illusion of progress. They want recognition without the work, praise without the pain, results without the repetition. This is why the majority never reach their potential. True excellence is a path of relentless self-mastery. It is the combination of awareness, discipline, systems, mental toughness, and deliberate practice. It is waking up early when your body wants to sleep, doing the work that no one sees, making decisions that are hard, and acting when fear screams to stop. Excellence is built in repetition, in the daily actions you perform when nobody is watching. It is strengthened in moments of discomfort, sharpened by challenges, and made unstoppable through consistency. Every task you approach with focus, every habit you execute with intention, every boundary you enforce on your mind compounds into excellence over time. But here is the brutal truth. Excellence is not compatible with laziness, distraction, or procrastination. You cannot expect extraordinary results while negotiating with your brain for convenience or delay. You cannot expect to outwork the masses if you surrender to comfort. And you cannot reach the level of mastery that separates the extraordinary from the average if you do not embrace the hard, lonely, and sometimes painful work required to build your skills and your mind. You must develop a mindset that refuses to settle. Settling is the enemy of excellence. It whispers excuses, justifications, and rationalizations, convincing you that good enough is sufficient. But good enough never changes your life. Good enough never challenges the status quo. Good enough is the reason most people live lives of quiet regret, wondering what could have been if only they had pushed harder, aimed higher, and refused to compromise. Excellence requires discomfort. It requires failure. It requires facing the very fears most people avoid. The first time you step into discomfort, it feels unnatural. It feels heavy. Your mind will resist. Your body will resist. You may even feel panic or doubt. That is normal. That is growth. That is the signal that you are moving in the right direction. With each step, the resistance weakens. With each action, your confidence grows. With each repetition, your skill, discipline, and mental toughness multiply. Excellence also demands focus. Your energy is limited. Your attention is limited. You cannot scatter it across trivialities and expect to reach mastery. You must identify what matters most, your craft, your skill, your purpose, and invest deeply. Remove distractions ruthlessly. Protect your time like a predator protects its territory. Guard your energy. Say no to what does not serve your mission. Excellence is not passive. It is aggressive. It is intentional. It is a decision made every morning and reinforced every night. A choice to act, to improve, and to execute when others sleep, scroll, or complain. Every day you delay, every task you avoid, every moment you surrender to mediocrity is a day you steal from your own potential. If you truly desire the life most people never reach, you must adopt a relentless standard for yourself. No compromise, no excuses, no exceptions. Seek challenges. Embrace discomfort. Face failure head-on. Reprogram your mind to act automatically toward growth. Build systems that force progress, even when willpower fades. Surround yourself with people, resources, and environments that demand your best. And understand this: excellence is a lifelong pursuit. There is no finish line. There is no final moment when you can declare, "I have arrived." Every day you live, every choice you make, every action you take is a test of your commitment to mastery. Some days you will fall. Some days you will fail. Some days your mind will scream for comfort. That is the process. That is the proving ground. That is where excellence is forged. By embracing this reality, by committing to relentless improvement, and by refusing to settle for anything less than your potential, you will become unstoppable. You will rise above the masses, and you will claim a life defined not by circumstance, but by choice, action, and mastery. Excellence is not a destination. It is a habit, a mindset, and a lifestyle. Choose it. Fight for it. And do not stop until your life reflects the relentless pursuit that defines the extraordinary. Chapter 10. Leaving your mark. Most people live their lives as if they are invisible. They drift through days, weeks, and years, leaving no trace, creating no impact, and passing quietly into the oblivion of forgotten potential. They work jobs they hate, live by other people's rules, and wait for someone else to give them meaning. That is the life most people accept. But you are not most people. You are here because you refuse to settle. You are here because you are willing to act, to push, to grow, to challenge the norms of mediocrity. And if you act on what you've learned in this audiobook, you are capable of something far bigger than comfort, than success, than recognition. You are capable of leaving a mark, a legacy that will outlast you. Leaving your mark is not about fame. It is not about money, accolades, or applause. Those things are temporary and hollow. Leaving your mark is about creating value that matters. It is about shaping the world around you through your actions, decisions, and influence. It is about being remembered not for what you took from life, but for what you gave. The truth is harsh. The world will forget the passive, the hesitant, the undisciplined. Time rewards only those who act with purpose, with intent, and with relentless focus. Every decision you make either builds or destroys your legacy. Every moment you spend in distraction, in comfort, in avoidance, is a moment stolen from the life you could have shaped. You must take ownership of your existence completely. Leaving your mark begins with vision. What do you want to be remembered for? What problem do you want to solve? What skill, influence, or knowledge will you leave behind that others can benefit from? Without a vision, you drift. With a vision, every action, every habit, every choice becomes aligned with your mission. But vision alone is meaningless without execution. Ideas, plans, dreams, they are worthless unless you act. You must do the work. You must endure the discomfort. You must persist when no one is watching. Legacy is built in the quiet, unseen moments of effort repeated day after day, year after year. Start by asking yourself, if you died tomorrow, what would remain? Would there be evidence that you existed, that you mattered, that you shaped the world in any way? Or would your life vanish like a forgotten shadow, remembered only by a few? The most powerful people in history, the ones whose names echo across generations, did not achieve greatness because they were lucky. They did so because they refused to waste time, they refused to settle, and they refused to let fear control them. They built systems that ensured their actions had consequences beyond themselves. They mastered themselves, acted relentlessly, and created impact that outlasted their presence. You can do the same. It starts with small, deliberate actions. Teach someone. Share knowledge. Create work that others can learn from. Solve problems. Lead by example. Build habits, skills, and systems that elevate your life and the lives of those around you. Influence others not through words alone, but through action. The more you operate in this way, the more unstoppable you become. Leaving a mark also requires courage. You will be judged. You will be criticized. You will face obstacles that feel impossible, setbacks that seem unfair, and moments when quitting feels irresistible. That is normal. That is the proving ground. The greater your courage, the stronger your legacy. Do not shrink from challenges. Do not hide from scrutiny. Do not settle for the easy path. Your mark is created in the moments when everyone else chooses comfort, when the masses surrender, when fear tries to convince you that your effort is meaningless. And finally, leaving your mark requires consistency. One act, one moment, one day is not enough. Legacy is cumulative. It is built over decades of deliberate choices, relentless action, and unyielding focus on what matters. Every habit you build, every skill you master, every person you influence compounds into something larger than yourself. If you start now, the momentum will grow. The life you live, the actions you take, the decisions you make will ripple outward, creating impact you may never fully see, but that will endure long after you are gone. Most people never take this seriously. Most people die quietly, leaving nothing behind. But you are not most people. You have listened. You have learned. And now, if you act, you can claim the life, influence, and legacy that most only dream about. Decide today, will you leave your mark, or will you vanish like the rest? The answer will define your existence. And if you choose to act, if you commit fully, if you refuse compromise, then your life will become a testament to what relentless effort, courage, and discipline can achieve. The mark you leave is waiting for you. Claim it. Chapter 11. Mastering your environment. Your mind is powerful, but it is not invincible. It can be trained, disciplined, and reprogrammed. But even the strongest mind struggles when its environment is chaotic, distracting, or unsupportive. Most people underestimate the invisible influence of their surroundings. They blame laziness, procrastination, or lack of motivation when the real culprit is the environment shaping their thoughts, actions, and habits. Your room, your city, your social circle, your daily routines. They are all powerful forces silently determining the trajectory of your life. If your environment promotes distraction, comfort, or mediocrity, your mind will follow. If your surroundings are cluttered, noisy, or filled with negative influences, your focus will falter, your energy will drain, and your growth will stall. Mastering your environment is not optional. It is fundamental. It is the scaffolding on which all other disciplines, mental toughness, productivity, excellence, and impact are built. Start with your physical space. Cluttered spaces clutter your mind. A messy room, an unorganized desk, a chaotic schedule. These are not minor inconveniences. They are barriers, silently draining your willpower, focus, and energy. Remove distractions. Clean your space. Organize your tools, your resources, and your workspace so that they serve your purpose rather than sabotage it. Create triggers that enforce discipline. For example, have a dedicated work area where only focus and productivity are allowed. Remove phones, notifications, and anything that pulls your attention away. Your environment should force action, not fight against it. Next, consider your social environment. Humans are social creatures, but most people underestimate the toxic influence of the wrong social circle. Negative, lazy, or unambitious people will pull you down, even subconsciously. They normalize mediocrity, make excuses, and subtly reinforce your old habits of inaction. Surround yourself with people who push you, challenge you, and inspire you. Seek those who are relentless, disciplined, and driven. Their energy will feed yours, their standards will raise yours, and their influence will mold your mindset in ways books and videos alone cannot. Your digital environment matters too. Social media, apps, notifications, and endless scrolling are the modern world's biggest thieves. They rob your attention, distort your reality, and train your brain to crave instant gratification. You must curate your digital space with the same precision as your physical and social environments. Block distractions, set limits, and create systems that allow your technology to serve your goals rather than hijack your focus. Even your mental environment counts. Your internal dialogue, the thoughts you entertain, the language you use with yourself. These are invisible forces that shape your actions. Reprogram negative, limiting thoughts. Replace doubt with action. Replace fear with challenge. Replace excuses with solutions. Your mind will reflect your environment, both external and internal. And when you master all these layers, the physical, social, digital, and mental, you create a fortress of focus, discipline, and productivity. One that supports your growth instead of sabotaging it. But mastery requires vigilance. Your environment is dynamic. It changes with time, with people, with circumstances. You must constantly audit it. Remove what no longer serves you. Add what strengthens you. Optimize relentlessly. The smallest adjustments compound into massive results over time. When your environment works for you, not against you, action becomes automatic. Discipline feels natural. Momentum becomes unstoppable. Your mind is free to focus on mastery, excellence, and impact, instead of constantly fighting distractions, excuses, and negative influences. Most people never do this. They blame their circumstances instead of fixing them. They allow their environment to dictate their life while pretending they are in control. But if you commit to mastering your environment, you take the biggest leverage step in personal transformation. You are no longer a victim of circumstances. You are the architect of your reality. Every habit, every skill, every ounce of energy is amplified when your environment is aligned with your goals. And that, more than anything else, separates the extraordinary from the average. Your environment is your silent partner in success or failure. Make it work for you. Shape it intentionally. Protect it fiercely. Audit it relentlessly. And watch as the life you've been struggling to achieve suddenly accelerates beyond what you thought possible. Master your environment, and nothing, Not distraction, not fear, not laziness can stop you. Chapter 12. The Unstoppable Daily Routine. If you want results, extraordinary results, you cannot leave your life to chance. You cannot wait for motivation, inspiration, or perfect circumstances. You must build a daily routine so powerful, so disciplined, and so intentional that it becomes unstoppable. This is the blueprint that separates the average from the extraordinary, the distracted from the focused, the dreamers from the doers. Most people think routines are boring. They imagine rigid schedules, endless rules, and the death of freedom. That is a lie. The right routine is freedom. Freedom from indecision, freedom from wasted energy, freedom from chaos, and freedom from mediocrity. When your day is structured with purpose, everything else becomes automatic. Every choice, every habit, every action aligns with your goals. The brain thrives on repetition. Habits form neural pathways that make certain behaviors automatic. Without deliberate routines, your mind chooses the easiest path, the path of least resistance, the path that leads to comfort and distraction. That is why most people never reach their potential. The difference between them and you can be a single, consistent routine designed for relentless progress. Your unstoppable daily routine should start with the morning. The first hour of your day is your foundation. If you waste it, the rest of the day crumbles. Wake up early, ideally at the same time every day. Begin with movement, exercise, stretching, or even a short run to wake your body and signal to your brain that action has begun. Follow with deliberate focus on your mental state, meditation, journaling, or visualization. Clarify your goals for the day, set your intentions, and identify the most important tasks that will move you forward. Then, attack the day. Focus on high-value work first. The tasks that create the greatest impact in your life and career. Protect this time ruthlessly. Remove distractions. Set boundaries. Work with intensity, focus, and purpose. This is where ordinary people fail. They allow their attention to scatter. They multitask, and they dilute their impact. Single-tasking with full focus is how the unstoppable achieve results. Midday is not for easing up. It is for reinforcing momentum. Take short, strategic breaks that restore energy, not distract you. Eat deliberately. Hydrate, move, reset. Then, return to high-value tasks, pushing until the work is done. The evening is for reflection and preparation. Review your wins and losses. Audit your habits. Ask yourself what worked, what didn't, and what you can improve tomorrow. Plan your next day in detail, so when you wake up, you can hit the ground running without hesitation. The unstoppable daily routine also requires attention to your mental environment. Guard your thoughts. Monitor your emotions. Replace doubt with action, fear with challenge, and distraction with focus. Your mind is your most important tool. Feed it with knowledge, inspiration, and reminders of your purpose. Surround yourself with positivity, accountability, and influence that elevates you. Most people ignore this, and they wonder why their routines fail. The difference is the relentless commitment to intentionality. A routine is not a suggestion. It is a contract with yourself. Break it, and you break trust with yourself. Keep it, and every day compounds into results that seem impossible to those who wait for motivation or hope for luck. The truth is harsh. Consistency is your greatest leverage. One day of focus is meaningless. 1 week of consistency is noticeable. 1 month of relentless adherence creates momentum. 1 year of disciplined execution transforms your life entirely. This is why extraordinary people outpace the average. They do the same actions over and over, day in and day out, when nobody is watching, when motivation is absent, when the work feels difficult. That is the secret. The unstoppable daily routine is not about perfection. It is about relentless, intentional, uncompromising execution. It is about designing your life so that action is automatic, progress is inevitable, and your mind and body are aligned toward growth. Start today. Identify the key pillars: morning activation, focused work, mental clarity, strategic breaks, reflection, and planning. Then execute relentlessly. Audit, improve, repeat. Over time, this routine becomes your superpower. You no longer rely on fleeting motivation. You no longer battle chaos. You no longer drift. You become unstoppable. Every action compounds. Every day builds momentum. Every habit solidifies into a life that is deliberate, powerful, and extraordinary. The life you want is not a dream. It is a consequence of the routine you choose, refine, and execute day after day until excellence becomes your standard. Chapter 13. The Relentless Mindset. Your mind is your battlefield. Every success, every failure, every moment of action or inaction begins there. The relentless mindset is not a trait you are born with. It is forged, trained, and perfected through deliberate effort. Most people live their lives on autopilot, reacting to circumstances, letting emotions dictate decisions, and surrendering to whatever life throws at them. They are slaves to their environment, their fears, and their old habits. But a relentless mind does not react. It responds. It does not wait. It acts. It does not complain. It adapts. This is the difference between ordinary lives and extraordinary ones. The relentless mindset is forged in discomfort. It is forged in the moments when your body screams to quit, when your brain whispers excuses, when the easy choice beckons. That is when the battle begins. Every time you resist, every time you act despite fear, every time you persist when most people would give up, you are strengthening this mindset. Discipline alone is not enough. Knowledge alone is not enough. Action alone is not enough. The relentless mindset is the integration of all three, sustained over time until it becomes unshakable. You must train yourself to see obstacles as opportunities. Most people see obstacles and stop. The relentless mind sees the same obstacle and asks, "What can I learn? How can I grow? How can I turn this into an advantage?" Every challenge, every failure, every setback is a tool, a teacher, a test. And you must approach it that way, or risk being crushed by it. Fear is the enemy of action, but it is also the greatest indicator that you are on the right path. The relentless mindset does not eliminate fear. It acknowledges it, names it, and acts anyway. Doubt will arise, insecurity will creep in, and uncertainty will loom. But they are signals, not roadblocks. You must respond to them with deliberate, consistent action. Your inner dialogue matters more than any external factor. Most people allow self-talk to be dominated by negative thoughts. "I can't. I'm not ready. It's too hard." The relentless mindset flips that script. It uses words like weapons. It conditions the mind to affirm strength, focus, and action. Every phrase you tell yourself shapes the decisions you make and the habits you reinforce. Consistency is the engine that powers a relentless mindset. Motivation is fleeting. Inspiration is temporary. Discipline lasts only as long as your willpower does. But when relentless action becomes a habit, when execution is automatic, when your mindset is unshakable, you no longer rely on external forces to propel you. You become unstoppable. Surround yourself with reinforcement. Read the right books, watch the right content, and spend time with people who embody relentless action. Avoid influences that weaken your resolve. Encourage excuses. or normalize mediocrity. Your mindset is shaped by the input you consume daily, and most people never realize how destructive poor input can be. Visualization is a powerful tool for building relentlessness. Every day, see yourself overcoming fear, completing challenges, and achieving what seems impossible. Imagine the discipline, the focus, and the execution required. Train your mind in advance so that when the real situation comes, your response is automatic, decisive, and unwavering. Failure is inevitable. Mistakes are unavoidable. But the relentless mindset treats failure as data, not judgment. Analyze, adjust, and move forward without hesitation. Those who dwell on failure or allow it to define them are trapped. Those who learn and adapt are liberated. The relentless mindset also demands self-accountability. No excuses, no blame, no rationalizations. Every result, every action, every outcome is yours. Own it, control it, change it. External circumstances are never perfect, and life will never be easy. The relentless mind acknowledges this and refuses to be paralyzed. It focuses on what can be controlled: thoughts, actions, habits, choices, and ignores what cannot. Most people fail because they focus on what they cannot control. You will succeed because you focus on what you can. Remember, building this mindset is not instant. It is a daily grind, a lifelong pursuit. Every act of self-discipline, every confrontation with discomfort, every repetition of good habits compounds into a mental fortress no challenge can breach. Eventually, fear, doubt, and procrastination become irrelevant. Action becomes automatic. Excellence becomes natural. Momentum becomes unstoppable. The relentless mindset transforms your life because it changes you at the core. It gives you the clarity, focus, and power to achieve what others consider impossible. If you cultivate it fully, consistently, and without compromise, nothing in your life can stop you from becoming the person you are capable of being. The world will test you, challenge you, and push you to your limits. But with a relentless mindset, you will meet it head-on and emerge stronger every time. This is your greatest weapon, your ultimate advantage, and the foundation for everything else you want to achieve. Build it, strengthen it, and wield it without hesitation. Relentlessness is not a skill, it is a way of life. And once you adopt it, you will never look back.